Disclaimer. This is educational purpose video only. I didn't harm anyone. I used my own device during explain of this method, so please don't use this method any kind of illegal or malicious activities. Because hacking is crime. If you do this, then it can land you in jail. I'm not support any kind of illegal or malicious hacking.
Welcome back all. Today I'm just going to go ahead and continue with the MAC changer. Now in this lecture I will actually use it and I will show you how to change your MAC address. This is primarily meant to be applied in real life circumstances, and but since these are only training and learning video, since this is for learning purposes and these are only training videos, we're going to do it in the virtual machine. Keep in mind that even though this is possible to do from the Linux command line within the virtual machine, it will effectively kill your internet connectivity on the virtual machine. On real machines or bootable USBs, it won't, because that is how it is meant to be used. I will show you how you can also change a MAC address in virtual machine, in VirtualBox, without actually losing internet connectivity. Anyway, let's just type in MAC changer space -r space ETH0, which is our interface. Actually, before that, let's type in ifconfig ETH0, and we see the MAC address here. I have already changed it, but let's revert it back. No, let's just go ahead and continue. Let's change it again. So let's type in MAC changer space -r space ETH0. Enter. So it says permanent MAC. This is our original MAC address. This is the current MAC address, to which I have changed it prior to the beginning of this tutorial. And this is the new MAC address, the one where, when it says a new MAC address, yep, there we go. This is the one that shall be used. So new MAC address is the one that will be used. Permanent MAC address is the original one, and the current one, so the one that is currently being used, is this one. But as soon as you have a new one, then this one will be applied. Let me show you. So ifconfig ETH0, and you can see that this one, that this output and this output are completely the same. But as you can see, I can type in ping google.com, and this is not going to work. If I type in MAC changer -b to restore the permanent one, if I type in ping google.com, you see that the internet connection does work. So you won't have this problem on a physical machine or with a bootable USB. There will be no difficulties there whatsoever. But with a virtual machine, it's a little bit different. If you wish to change it in a virtual machine, and if you're using VirtualBox, it's fairly simple, but as I already stated, it makes little sense because the address is already fairly it's basically the MAC address of the virtual machine. Who cares? It's not like it's a machine that you bought with your own money somewhere or something like that. It's the MAC address of the virtual machine, so who cares? So just from a logical perspective, it makes little sense, but here, let me just show you in case you still really want to. I can go ahead and clear the screen, and I can type in... So this one is 080027035875. Feel free to memorize it, or feel free not to memorize it. You can remember the last set, so it's 75, and let's see how that changes. So the very first thing that we need to do is completely power off our machine. Power off the virtual machine, that is. Just wait for it. And there we go. So let's right click on our virtual machine, go into settings, go into network. Okay, so this is in NAT, let's change it to bridged. Go into advanced. It doesn't need to be in bridge, you can leave it in NAT if you wish. So, just so you know. It says promiscuous mode, allow all. And down below I have a MAC address. And now let's go ahead and rotate it. Let's change it to something else. So you see it's randomizing these bits here. But I can type it 0, oops. Yeah, invalid settings detected. You won't be able to change the manufacturer from here. You'll just be able to randomize the device bits. So the manufacturer will still remain the same, but the device bits will change completely. But either way, you are fairly anonymous anyway by using a virtual machine, so no worries there. Just go ahead and click on OK. Come on. Are you serious? Please? The second digit in the MAC address may not be odd. Only unicast addresses are allowed. Are you I love it when it bugs out like this. It's something that I love the most. Okay, so once again, go into settings and go into network. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to bridged, go into advanced, click on this green circle to change the MAC address, click on OK, and then you can power the machine back on and the MAC address will be changed. So you can't change the manufacturer, but you can change the bits that identify the machine. However, as I said, it's just a virtual machine, so no need to pretty much worry at all. You can delete it at any time you wish, and you can create a new one at any time you wish. But on a real system and on a bootable USB, this would make a lot of difference. So every time you're going to use this in the real world, this would make a lot of difference. But on a virtual machine, which we're using now, for learning purposes, it is just here. I'm just demonstrating it so you know how to do it. Okay, so booting in. Booting and booting and booting very slowly. I've always loved the speed of virtual machines. Just close this, and close this, and open up our terminal. There is another thing that can be implemented, and Linux allows for scheduling of tasks. So you can schedule a task to run at boot time, so you can have your MAC address changed every time you boot your machine. So if you type in cron tab space -e in Linux 2.0, it's gonna ask you which editor would you like to use. So I always like to use vim, but I've noticed that people have had problems with it on Udemy because it can be quite a bit complicated, but it is very powerful. However, for this purpose, I'm gonna use Nano, as it is a lot simpler and easier to use, but far less powerful. Although for this purpose we just need a basic editor to change a few things, so there's no need to use a very powerful tool in the first place. So let's go ahead and let's pick an option number 1. And let's go down. So at the bottom you have MH, DOM, MON, DOW, and then the command. So what are these options? So these M stands for minutes, H stands for hours, DOM is day of the month, MON is just month, and DOW is day of the week, and then the command that you wish to run. So on a physical or a USB device, you can run something like this. So at reboot, so you disregard these options completely and you just state at reboot, and then you could type in something like Mac changer -r ETH0. You could also bring the interface down and change the MAC address if that doesn't work. So, for example, so you have at reboot Mac changer -r ETH0. This should work. If it does not, you can do the following. So we're somewhere on the file system. Let's go into documents, and we can type in mkdir. I don't know, how shall we name this file? Whatever.sh. Then we're gonna type in nano whatever.sh. No, wait. mkdir creates a directory. My sincere apologies for that. I'm just gonna go ahead and type in nano whatever.sh, and then I'm gonna create a small script for myself here. Bin bash, and then you can type in a set of commands, basically exactly the same commands that you would use in the terminal. So I have config ETH0 down, IF config, notice also that this is primarily used for wireless interfaces, and I am using a wired interface for this test. So also, you won't generally change a MAC address on a wired interface, you will generally change it on a wireless interface. But the procedure is exactly the same. The only thing that differs is the name of the interface. So you don't need to copy this part or anything like that. I'm just creating this script for demonstration purposes of what you can do. So you can create entire sets of commands which you want to be executed at boot time to configure your system, to tune your system the way you want it to be tuned at boot time, so you wouldn't have to do it every time manually, so you could automate the tasks. Type in Mac changer -r ETH0, and then IF config ETH0 up. And you can also, to ensure that it all runs smoothly, you can type in hold on, my keyboard is getting stuck a little bit. Sleep, I don't know, 2, and then we can do this as well. Sleep 2. Sleep just puts the execution of, so it executes ifconfig, then it sleeps for 2 seconds, then it executes the Mac changer, then it sleeps for 2 seconds, and then it brings the interface back up. This is just to ensure that everything runs smoothly. So Control O to save, Enter, Control X to exit. Now we do ls, we see the script is there, and now we need to make it executable. So type in chmod space +x whatever.sh. And if we do ls again, you will see that it has a different color. And you can see that it is indeed an executable file. This X symbolizes that it is executable. So the first 3 are for the user, the second 3 permissions are for the group, and the third 3 permissions are for everybody. So the user can read, write, and execute. The owner of the file, that is. The owner of the file is a root. The group to which the root belongs is called root as well. So the root group can read and can execute, but it cannot write. But if you're a root, you can do pretty much anything. So if there's another user, let's say user called test, that is a member of the root group, he would be able to read and execute the file. So read and execute, but it wouldn't be able to write anything to it, and the world also can read and execute, so everybody else who belongs to any other group. Anyway, I know that I perhaps lost you a little bit there, but no worries, this will clear out as the tutorial progresses. And let's go ahead and type in cron tab-e. Notice how I didn't get prompted for a editor this time. Scroll down to the bottom, type in @re-ups, Control X to exit one more time. No, I do not wish to save anything. pwd to see the currently working directory. So it's root and then documents. Feel free to copy this. So Control Shift C. And then let's go ahead and type in cron tab-ups. Cron tab-e once again. Scroll down to the bottom, type in @reboot space Control Shift V /whatever.sh. So I haven't really tested this out on this machine, but it should work without bigger difficulties, and you can press Ctrl O to save, Enter to write, and Ctrl X to exit. If I type in ifconfig, I can see that the last set of the address is E743. Let's test the script out to see if it actually works. Sleep is not functional. Okay, no big deal, but you can see that it works even without sleep quite well. So the current Mac and the permanent Mac and the new Mac, you can see that it has indeed changed it. Let me just reconfigure this a little bit. It shouldn't use a capital S, just lowercase s if I'm not mistaken. If it doesn't, oh well, no big deal. And there you go. You've noticed that the execution of the script was a bit slower because you had sleep intervals of 2 seconds. But indeed, again, it changes, and it will change it every time it reboots. We can make sure of this by just typing in reboot. I'm running a bit short on time here, but oh well. We shall wrap the tutorial up fairly soon. You can put in anything you want in that script. So it will run it should run every time that the machine reboots, which is very nice. As I said, you can have a pre-configured machine in one single script. So you can change your DNS settings, you can connect to a VPN, you can do whatever it is that you want to do, and put it in one script that will run every time that you boot, so everything will be done in like 2 seconds instead of you going manually from here to there, configuring that, etc. So going, booting, give me the terminal. Zoom, and let's type in Mac changer -SETH0, and there you go. So it says that the current Mac is this one and that the permanent Mac is this one, so it indeed has changed it at reboot. Anyway, I thank you for watching. This will conclude the Mac changer section. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I bid you all farewell.